Yo guys, welcome to this video. My name is Luuk, I'm a professional producer. In this video I will show you how I made my Afro House remix of Tate McRae Just Keep Watching. So this is the project. I really liked the original song, which was from the F1 movie. I decided to make an emotional Afro House remix from it. So the chords are really emotional and really dreamy. And I really think the vocals from Tate McRae really suited this remix, since the track itself was not in the style at all. So this is how the track sounds. So yeah, let's start with the chords of the song. Go to the synth group over here. As you can see, there's not a lot of channels here. It's actually quite a simple production, just some really important channels. Didn't have to add any more stuff to this because it was already like a full production, especially with the vocals. So let's start with piano chords here. I think those are the most important elements of this track. The chords are fairly simple, just some chords that gets used a lot in Afro House music, and I really love them together with these vocals. So I sat down on the piano and I began improvising with those chords on the vocals. This is how the chords sound. Really nice chords. This piano is like a vintage piano, kind of upright vintage piano, which I use a lot in my productions. And I really like the kind of dark tone to it. So yeah, that's what I used. There's some EQing over here, just some simple EQing, just a low cut, some dips over here, and some boost there around 4000 Hertz. I also have an alto filter on this piano. And it's just in the break, it's just filtered with an alto filter, and then it's opened on the drop. And also some kickstart as well, like 40%, not a lot, not too much, because that works well in these productions. So yeah, that's a piano. Then after that, I added like a counter melody, a piano melody, also with the same piano, just one octave up in this case, which really fits the chords. This is the piano melody that I stacked on top of the chords. In the first part, in the break, it's still filtered. The same with the normal piano. And then it opens up all the way to the drop, as you can see here. And then together with the normal piano chords, they sound really nice together. So those together with the vocal was like kind of my starting point for this song. Also, if you hear the pianos together with the vocal, sound really nice. Then after that, in the break, there's also a fifth bass that I added here already in the break, which is still like filtered and low cut. And also the alto filter here like goes up all the way to the drop. As you can hear, this is a really gritty bass. In the drop, it sounds like this. And on the second part of the drop, it's fully opened. As you can hear, there's also like a high top end on the bass that I used with erosion to add some white noise on there. I really like to use the erosion on this bass. Without it, it sounds like this. It's already nice, but I felt like it needed some more high end and grittiness. And with that way, with erosion, you can add that nice kind of top end that I just couldn't add with the normal processing from Diva, because this bass from Diva, it's preset that I tweaked a bit. With some EQing as well, just some low cut over here in linear phase and a shaper box for a sidechain. Really nice. Together with that is the sub, and the sub is just a normal sub I always use. Nothing special actually. Really high sub as well. I couldn't get the notes 1 octave lower because then it would be too low for the sub. So together with the 5th bass, they go really well with each other. And on this one, there's simple EQ. There's 60 Hz, 60 dB per octave filter that I used here in order to make space for the kick. And also this EQ is set to linear phase. Then as well, the same shape box that I used. And I only use the shape box for the bass elements of the song. So only this 5th bass and the sub. For the audio elements like piano chords or synth chords, I just use the normal kickstart because it's easier to just put on every track. But for more precise stuff in the low end, especially with the kick, no phase issues. So only for the sub information of this track, I used the shape box. Then we got an analog plug that I made with some processing. This is how it sounds. Really nice sound. As you can see here, it also opens up in the break without the filter, and then in the drop it's fully opened. As you can see here, I have like 2 sounds layered in this group that I made. The sound is made in Serum, just a normal sound. I used 2 oscillators, the saw rounded and the saw rounded to square. These are just 2 oscillators. And if you want to fully the saw, you can just go all the way up to 26. But I like to have it a little bit softer than that, which makes it for this kind of nice, soft, creamy plug. And on this channel, there's also a chorus because I really like to give some warmth, some witness. Chorus just is perfect for plugs in my opinion. And then I also had like a noise layer in the first Serum patch, but I decided to process it individually because I didn't want to get chorus on my noise. I didn't like the sound of it. So as you can see here, it's like on a different channel inside of this track. So as you can see on this one, I only have the noise enabled so that we get this one and this one. Really nice. Then some simple EQing. We got reverb here, delay, ping pong delay with a filter, some crystallizer, a reversed crystallizer, a simple kickstart on 40%, and an auto filter for the breaks. Then let's listen to the pad that is introduced in the second part of the drop, which is like really high in the chord. So it's like already 1 octave up from the piano chords in that case. Really analog. Which is a diva patch I made with some EQing and crystallizer, as you can hear. Also reversed crystallizer. I really love that. And then we got just a simple riser, also a Serum patch that I made a while ago, and I just use in every project especially for Afro House. This works really well. I don't have to use samples. I can just set the plugin to whatever note or length I want. So that's really nice. So yeah, that is the synths group. There's also on the group itself, there's an EQ which dips like a bit of the range where the vocal is singing from Tate McRae. So there are 2 dynamic EQs here which are sidechained to the vocal of Tate McRae, as you can see here. So when the vocal sings the synths in that part where it clashes, you can see in Pro Qt where it clashes, it ducks a bit down, so the vocal gets a bit more space. Also some automation on the width of the utility. I really like to give the width of the whole synth group like a little bit less to 80% so that it gets a bit more smaller, and then it opens like really wide again, so it creates a nice effect. Really subtle. The effect to the drop is just a bit better. And also for the auto filter, I use it to cut the lows. As you can see, it goes to 140 Hz and then it goes back, so you got like that extra bit of excitement when the drop hits. So yeah, that's the synth group of this track. It's actually really simple. This is how the synth sounds together. Then with the analog pad as well. So nice. Love it. In the second part of the drop, the piano melody gets a crystallizer, which I didn't make with the original plugin itself, but with a Ableton stock plugin called Grain Delay. So I used the crystallizer group here to add some extra sparkles in the second part, which are really high, which is in a group. As you can see here, the pitch is on 12, so 12 semitones up, and then it's filtered as well. So this is how it sounds in the second part of the drop, the piano melody. You can hear those sparkles, really nice. For some reason, I like this way better than the normal plugin from Crystallizer. So let's move over to the drum section of this track. These are all the drums all together. So really organic drums here. Let's start with the kick. This is how the kick sounds like. Really punchy, really clean. This is a kick I use a lot in my productions. It's just so clean and it has a really nice top end that I like. And yeah, it just fits perfect in this type of Afro House track. With just some simple EQ around the point where the sub is the most prominent in this kick. Then we also have a filtered kick, and that kick is in the break of the song. And as you can see here, it's filtered with auto filter and it has low cut, so it sounds like this. And then in the build-up, it gets repeated a bit more, like a real build-up. So yeah, that works really well. Just the same kick with some filtering and low cut, just to introduce already a bit of the rhythm in the break. So yeah, it's still an Afro House song, so you need a bit of rhythm in the break as well. Then we got an analog white noise that I use a lot. It's on the offbeat hi-hat in this case. And in the first part of the drop, it gets opened up with the auto filter again. And then in the second part, it's reopened. And I really like to use this one for layering the shakers in that case. I don't use like a hi-hat in this song, only like a small one, but just this one is just to emphasize the offbeat rhythm of the drums in that case and to use for layering with the shakers. Here I got some processing, just a cue, some Valhalla vintage verb, alto bend, so it goes from left to right, which I really like, alto filter and some kickstart 20%. So it doesn't like fully get in front of the kick. So yeah, let's move over to the shakers. These are the shakers. Really organic, Foley kind of shakers. And they also start off filtered in the first part of the song in the break. And they go all the way open when the drop hits. So this group contains 3 layers. We got a high layer, a low layer, and a wide layer. The high layer is really nice. It sounds like this. There's some EQ and reverb and kickstart as well. Then we have a low shaker. Really Foley, rattle kind of shaker. And this one is filtered because without a filter it sounds like this. So I like to keep that a bit filtered. I like the sound of it way more. Also got some white shakers here. They sit like really far in the mix and are pretty wide. And also these are filtered with auto filter and some EQing and kickstart. So pretty much the same process for the shakers. And yeah, they're like the most important element in these drums. The drums are just so empty without shakers. So shakers are really important element in this song. Then we got a tonal wood here. It sounds like this. So yeah, it's just a tonal wood block, which has like a tone to it, which I tuned. So I got like a tuner stock plugin from Ableton here. And I use this to see if the sample I originally picked is not off key. So as you can see here, it's in D and it's almost perfect, like it's screened. So that's good enough. And without detuning, it sounds like this. So it was a bit off, but yeah, I corrected that with some detuning and looking at the tuner, so that's really nice. We got some Pro Q3 here, reverb and delay, ping pong delay, some auto filter as well on the break. It opens up to already give like that percussion, tonal percussion feeling, and some kickstart. Then in the second part of the drop, I introduced a head loop. It sounds like this. It sounds really digital, but somehow I like this one because you have like all those organic drums and then all of a sudden you get like a digital head, like a drum machine kind of digital head. Yeah, I really like to combine the organic and the digital stuff as well with the analog white noise. It's kind of digital sounding. So yeah, you got some organic elements and some digital elements, which I really like. Then we got a tom, also a tonal tom here. It sounds like this. So a simple EQ here, reverb. It's a bit filtered because without a filter it sounds like this. And the height was just a bit too much for me together with all the other drums. So I just really like the tonal percussion here, especially with the tonal woodblock we have as well. And yeah, also a delay on there, ping pong delay, just to get the width in the drums as well. If you listen together with the tonal woodblock, it sounds really nice. Like they combine really good together. The one is like one octave lower and one octave higher, and they never play the same rhythm together. So they never hit the same note. So yeah, they are really nice combined, and yeah, really like that. Then we also have a clap here, which comes in the second drop of the song. It's just a hand clap. This is how it sounds like. Really dries well. But yeah, together it just sounds amazing. Then for the last part of the drums, we have some bongos I added. They sound like this. Yeah, really nice. And these bongos also have a bit of tonality in there. So I look with the tuner here to detune them a bit. So I detuned them to G in this case. There are some EQing over here, just a low cut, some dips. And there was like a one note that was really harsh. So I decided to EQ that out of this tom because without it, you can already hear it. There's some reverb on there and some delay, just the stuff I use on most channels here in the drums, and some kickstart. Also on the drum group here is a Shadow Hills mastering compressor, just to give the drums some bus compression here. And the mix is on 20%, so it's not a lot, but yeah, I love like the sound of compressing the drums together, you know. Really nice plugin. Like for drums, it's perfect in my opinion. Let's go over to the vocals here. Vocals from the original song I just extracted and aligned with the grid and warped, stretched to the BPM of my song. My song was a bit slower in BPM, so it needs a little bit of stretching. That's why there's also some processing going on over here, but it's not that complicated. This is how the vocal sounds. Just like this, there's just some simple EQ here, nothing really special, as well as some de-esser. I still heard some kind of like harsh S's that she's sung in the original. And then I also got some reverb and delay group over here, some Valhalla vintage verb. Like really wide, and some ping pong delay as well, which is filtered to 800 hertz, and a little bit of auto filter. I didn't use the full frequency spectrum of this vocal because I didn't like kind of the artifacts that the extraction got from the original, so I put it a little bit down to 14 kilohertz because there were some highs that I didn't like at the top end. Also some kickstart here, 60%, and yeah, that's the vocal, and I just split it up also for the extended from the song. Then we have the effects section. There are some transitions over here, orchestral transitions. This is how it sounds. Just some stuff I use like every project. I really love those, and especially combined with the shaker transition, they sound really nice together. really nice. And on both there's EQ and some reverb. Also got an impact clap here. This is just a normal clap that I put a bunch of reverb on and delay and filtered. And this is just a perfect clap to give impact for the next transition of the song. It sounds like this. And also got a passing car sound here, kind of a Foley sound that goes from left to right. It sounds like this. Also here some filtering, EQing and reverb. Also on the impact clap there's also the same stuff basically. We got 2 build-up snares over here. Also one from Keinemusik themselves. Also use this like every project, really nice. And then the end of the effects group has some thunder ambience, which I use only in the breaks. I really love to kind of use an ambience or final sound to kind of give the break a bit of that like atmosphere. In this case, I use like a thunder ambience with some rain. I really like that. It sounds like this. Yeah, really nice. So yeah, that is the entire song. Let's listen to the end result. I'll go from the second part of the song here. Let's go.